Zoey's fans, welcome to Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist Recap Show. I'm Emily May, and I'm so excited to cover Season 2, Episode 1, and I am here with a fellow AfterBuzzer host and producer. She is one of the biggest musical theater fans I know. Brianna Pips is here. Where is she? There you are. There you are. And I'm so excited to have you because you helped us with season 1 of Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist. And so you were along with the roller coaster of emotions that we all went through.
100%. Yes. I was behind the scenes at that point. But definitely feeling all of your guys' emotions through it and then watching the episodes later and feeling my emotions through it. I just need to get this out of the way right away because we moved nights. Zoey's moved nights from Sundays to Tuesdays. And who at NBC thought it was a great idea to put this show in front of This Is Us? Because, like, wow, let's just have 2 hours of crying our eyes out.
So when I saw that it was moving, right, I totally agree with you. I think it's actually a smart move. They're going to get the This Is Us fan base if they don't already. So I think it's just going to be the two of us crying. Because are you a This Is Us fan?
I am a This Is Us fan. I think I'm going to have to space my watchings of the shows out though, because it's going to be too much.
I know. Way too much. So I watch it on Sling, and so I can record it. And so I'm going to have to go back and watch This Is Us because I can only take so much crying.
And I mean, I was tearing up this episode, which I'm sure I'll tear up when I watch This Is Us, which will have to be tomorrow. But yeah, I wasn't sure with Zoe. So I was like, oh, well, maybe this season we won't be crying as much. But then the first episode happened. I was like, nope, here we go.
No, I was sitting here and Brandon was like, oh, are you crying already? And we'll get to the moment that made me cry. So let's dive in because, we're going to talk about season 2. So as all of the Zoey's fans know, we ended season 1 with the passing of Mitch, and this devastated us all, right? I think I'm going to repost our episode from AfterBuzz, like our recap show, because we were all bawling on that last episode. I'm surprised we even got through our after show.
That episode of television was one of the hardest episodes of television I've ever had to watch. And it might be partly because I'm a girl and I'm a father, and it just made me think of those things of one day I am going to lose him. But it was intense, in a way. And I've watched really sad shows, and that was intense in a way I've never experienced before.
I mean, it was so well written. I mean, and Austin, the creator of Zoey's, he live tweets all the episodes, and I remember he was live tweeting that episode, and it was one of the hardest ones that he had to write. And it comes from the heart. You can really tell that it's authentic. And I know we've talked about this before, but it literally touches everyone because everyone goes through it. And I feel like this episode tonight so I was tweeting it and I felt like it was a big hug. I felt like it was a big hug that we all needed because we're all going through this grieving process, whether it's a job, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a place that you're living, or whether it's just so much emotion right now and a lot of heartache. So I feel like it was a good episode to start off the season. But what did you think of this first episode?
I liked it. I thought that there was a lot of great moments within it. There was some moments where I was a bit confused. I found the office moments to be my least favorite moments, and not that that's a bad thing at all. They still were great moments. But they just, you can't have the touchingness that you get with her and Max and Simon, or her and her family in the office. No matter how sweet Leaf could ever pretend to be.
I love Leaf.
I love Leaf too. And I love the actor who plays him. I used to see him at Rockwell all the time. But, that's just his character. His character is never, even when he was the touchy-feely one last year with Joan, it was just you knew there was some ulterior motive, even if there was more love with him. And so this season too, it's George somehow, without knowing Zoey, was way more emotional and feeling towards her than Leaf could ever be.
Yeah, that's, like, an interesting point, and I feel like they're so kind of going into that office dynamic because we've seen a shift. So we started off the episode seeing kind of how the family is dealing with the loss of Mitch and how the home life is just really chaotic. David and Emily had their baby, and so that adds a whole other level of chaos and emotion. And Zoe, we found out that took about 6 weeks off to, you know, be with her mom and deal with that loss. So she returns to the office, and the office we learn is going through some chaos as well. And Zoe hasn't really heard a heart song in a while, so she hasn't really like
Yeah, not in 6 weeks.
not in 6 weeks. So what's like your theory on that? Because like in the office was the first really big one that we saw.
Yeah, well, part of it's just like, we found out that she's been for lack of a better word, quarantined in her
Mhm.
house for these past 6 weeks of
It
her
felt
own
very
device.
relatable. Felt very relatable.
Yes, yes. But like, how could she have a heart song?
Mhm.
She's with her mom and her brother, sister-in-law, and nephew.
Yes.
And so, and they're all kind of going through the same thing. So yes, there could be a heart song there, but like she already knows what those people need. She already knows the pain they're going through because she knows it. She's experiencing it too. So she's already helping them. She doesn't need a heart song to tell her anything.
Yeah. So do you think that so part of what I liked about this is that she's finally getting taken out of the home and is like, "Okay, I'm going back to work." And I feel like the shift of, like, being in the office and being around new people opens up her heart again. That, like, she wasn't willing or able to hear the heart song while at home because it was so, um there was so much other heartache around her. And so now it was like a shift of atmosphere and environment. Um 'Cause I feel like Mo started it off with this episode. Mo was singing "Rise Up,"
Mhm.
but she was just singing it, so,
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't a heart song.
it
It
wasn't
was
a
just a
heart
song
song,
song.
it was just a song, which we've seen in previous episodes where, like, Zoe, there was that flash mob last season, so you never know with Zoe's whether it's gonna be a heart song or real life. So let's dive in to this office moment because you're a huge musical theater fan, I'm a huge musical theater fan. I used to sing this song all the time. Hello, Dolly. Let's talk about this number because, the choreography by Emmy award winning Mandy Moore, again,
Mhm.
huge accomplishment there. Um, what did you think about this musical theater moment? And this song means something different. Like, if you know the show, it's an interesting pick. So I want to like hear your thoughts on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
We
it's
can talk
definitely
about
an
it.
interesting choice to go with. I mean, it's an interesting choice no matter how you look at it. If you know the show or if you don't know the show, because I feel that most people nowadays probably don't know the show, or at least under a certain age group, unless you're in that musical theater world. It's not, a current show. I'm trying to think of when the last time it was even done, I think
I don't know.
was.
I mean, I know the Barbara Streisand one, so that's like
And then
my
there's
reference.
Carol Channing.
Carol Channing, yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a while for that. So it's not a song that I think pro and I could be wrong, but that I probably a lot of people watching the show know or understand where the musical theater aspect of it's coming from. But if you don't, it still makes sense because it's just like, hello, like we're welcoming you back.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because like, the way I took it is it's not only welcoming her back and kind of bringing her into this world again, but it's a show about matchmaking, and it's a
Hmm.
show about love and connecting with people, and again, she's in this conflict of this, Team Max or Team Simon, which
Yeah.
we'll get into.
Well, and then it's also, you know, if people do know this song nowadays that don't know the musical theater show or the movie, it's probably from Wally, because they
That's
play
true.
the song and a little excerpt from the film during that movie. And Wally is such an isolated character. He's all alone, and that's kind of how Zoe's feeling.
And
So,
he's longing for companionship.
mhm,
And so I feel like Zoe, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, I mean, I've felt like this where, you are in a room of tons of people and you still feel very alone. And I feel like Zoey in this moment had all these people surrounding her, coming from a very lonely place and still feeling maybe a little bit isolated still.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she is around all these people that are going through the same thing as her, because her mom and her brother and everyone obviously feels the same way. But there is a aloneness that you can even feel with people that are feeling the same thing. I think we can all say that that's true from this year alone. Um, but then going back to work, that then you have all these people that are trying to express their sympathies towards you, and like bringing up this thing that you have had to deal with for the past 6 weeks while you're alone. And that in itself feels isolating, because even though they're trying to be there for you, it's just pointing out that you went through this horrible thing that they don't understand.
Yeah, and I feel like Zoey is like, we're gonna get into kind of the family moments. Like Maggie and Zoey and Emily, they had some moments here throughout this episode that were very intimate and like all relatable, that I felt like all of us have been through. We've had that hard conversation where or hard moment where we're going through belongings or trying to figure out like what do we do with this stuff, or like, there's always that some sense of loss. And I feel like this chaos that Zoey is feeling is translating into the office dynamic as well. And so I feel like the Hello Dolly song was really kind of appropriate. Did you like those dance moves?
I did like the dance moves. I did. I thought that, especially when we got the whole office together and they were like on the stairs, and I mean, Mandy Moore knows what she's doing. We know.
I know. So you saw the chorus line, kick line.
Yes.
And I have to say, that was the most epic reaction. Zoey just feeling complete disregard to that kick line.
I have to give her props though. She knew it was a Broadway song. Like if we remember last season,
Yes.
she knew very little songs. So, now she's getting better. She's understanding more of the songs.
Oh man, no, but I loved it. I was like, it was a good like, honor to Broadway,
Yes.
Like I missed my little Broadway this year, so it was good to
Are there
have
other
that.
Broadway songs I really want to hear them do on this show? 100%.
Okay, well let's talk about that. So what other songs do you want to hear on this show? Broadway tunes.
I feel like we could bring so many shows into it. I'm a huge cabaret fan. I definitely think maybe this time could find its way into an episode, because that fits along with everything that we've seen on the show. I think Next to Normal could fit onto the show, because it's all about mental health. Spring Awakening.
I was just going to say Spring Awakening.
There's so many different ones. I mean, I guess you could bring the happier ones in too, but I'm just connecting them like more.
Some happier ones. What about like Oklahoma? No, Carousel.
Yeah, Hello Dolly.
Hello Dolly, like some classic. You need. I'm trying to think. You could do like a whole Phantom of the Opera. Just kidding. Maybe Max has a layer of candles and a labyrinth of.
I mean, it would be fun to see Spring Awakening, because Max. I don't know why I'm blank on the actor's name at this moment, but he was in Spring Awakening in the original Broadway cast. So.
Oh wait, the actor that plays
Max
Skylar
Austin. Yes, Austin, yeah. He was in the original Spring Awakening cast, so that might be a fun little like.
That could be a good one. I know we're really good at predicting songs, so maybe we're on to something.
We're on to something.
Oh man. Okay, so next. Let's talk about this office. So like Joan is, we see Joan, and Joan is kind of a favorite character of ours. She has an attitude, but she's kind of warmed up to Zoey. Zoey and her have gotten close, and
they're gal pals.
They're gal pals, right? She kind of accused Zoey of shopping at Etsy, which I found hilarious.
There was a lot of like slight disses to Zoey's wardrobe this episode.
Well, I feel like last season they had it as well. I feel like she had comments.
Maybe it's just more prevalent in my mind right now. But yeah, this one I was just like, because who said something about her little suit? Oh, it was her brother.
It was her brother, yeah.
Her brother commented on her first outfit, and then Joan comments on the sweater.
Yeah, not cool, guys. Not cool. Her outfits look amazing.
She likes color. We all love color.
I love it.
Color.
I love it, and
I wish we could do more color.
Exactly, and I like how it matches the marketing. I don't know if you noticed that. So, like, she's wearing, like, pink and orange hues, and it's matching the marketing that they put out.
Hmm,
So,
I did
I
not
caught
notice that.
caught on to that. So, let's talk about we have so much to talk about. Let's talk about this new character that was introduced at her work, George. So, he's kind of a sweet guy, right?
Mhm.
It seems like he's kind of taking over Max's spot in the
Yeah.
office. So what do you what were your first impressions of him? Because I really liked him right away and I was waiting for his song and I'm so glad we got it this episode.
Yes. I love George. George is the sweetest little being ever. I instantly fell in love with him, and then as the episode went on, I fell more in love with him. Um, and then mainly I just kept being like, I know him from somewhere.
Did you look him up? Did you look him
Not,
up?
no, I didn't. I actually am doing it right now because I realized I didn't have time between watching it and being here. But uh, I definitely know him from somewhere, and it's been bugging me. But I
Uh,
do love him. I literally wrote in my notes, I'm like, I love George.
oh my goodness. So Austin, the creator, was talking about that character and how he wanted. Hold on, I'm trying to get to my IMDb so I can tell you. Um, oh gosh, I can't find it. But he specifically asked for this actor. He said
He's in The Magicians.
he's in The
That's where I know
Magician.
him
Oh,
from.
okay. There you go. So
He's probably in other. He's in a bunch of other stuff too, but I know him from The Magicians.
so what? How do you pronounce his name?
Harvey Gillen. What was it? Gillen? I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Okay. So Austin specifically asked for that type of person to play this role, and then he auditioned, and so obviously he got it. And I think that's a really great story.
I think he's like the perfect character for this show because we don't have someone like him yet. We don't have this like overly bubbly, happy, really wanting to fit in person. Like Max was the closest we had, but he still was kind of like half pessimist in a
Mhm.
way. So I think that he's a really good addition to this.
Yeah, and now you're right. Like I like his contrast because Zoe's a little cynical and kind of a little frustrated and sad right now, which
Mhm.
is understandable. So like he's kind of like and Mo's very inspirational, but like Mo also has like an air, like an attitude that very like confident attitude,
Yeah.
but not as positive it like aura as
Mo is
George.
just that person that is, you feel bad for Zoe, but on the other hand, you're like, yeah, like I know it's tough but it has been 6 weeks and at some point you have to come back to life.
Yeah.
You can't die with the ones that you love.
But that also like gets me thinking about like how long is long enough and
Yeah.
like I feel like you never stop mourning someone. Like you'll always hold that person close to you. So like when is that cuz like there's guilt and kind of a lot of like do I start work too early because like there's always that feeling of like what is it too soon? So
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
mean everyone's so different. So it's like, some people want to go back to work right away because they just want some sort of normalcy in their world. And then other
structure.
people need to just kind of remove themselves from reality. But yeah, I think you always need a person there to kind of force you to come back because there are people that just will live in their depression and will just sit there and not want to have to try to come back, and you have to at some point.
Yeah, you have to. And like I'm glad that Zoe this episode really showed I have a cat behind me. You see him? That's Poppy. Poppy, you want to say hi? Yeah, she does that.
She was like, I didn't realize I was on camera.
That's she's 9 months old and as big as a 10-pound cat. So where see I lost my train of cat. I lost my train of cat. That's what I just said.
We were talking about when is too soon to come back or when is long enough
Oh
time
yeah.
that you need to be kind of like, how do you know the balance of that?
So what I was gonna say is like Zoe has this support system around her. She has Mo, she has her family, and so, she has Max, she has Simon. I feel like she has a great system to help get her out of this. And then now this huge office dancing to Hello Dolly. She has a lot of people helping her. But let's talk about these testimonials that we saw. Zoey did a little hacking onto Mitch's computer to get some stuff for her mom. And we found these, she found these folders of videos. And so like my heart dropped when this happened because I was like, I don't know what this is going to be.
Well, at first my heart lifted because I was like, oh, that's so sweet. They get to, see their dad again. They get these messages from their dad or her husband, and that's such an amazing gift. And then when we saw the videos, then I was like, oh, and I didn't think about it in that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's like reliving that all over again and reliving like the downturn of someone that you really love, and that's really hard to see. So I could see how Maggie was upset in that moment of like, I don't want to see this right now. I'm not ready to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like it's a big gift. It's a really big gift to give that to someone and that they get to keep that forever.
The one thing I didn't, like that Maggie did, which I understand why she did, and I empathize with why she did this, but when it was her son's turn and she shuts the computer, but he was ready, which I get it. Like maybe it could be like, hey, can you go to the next room or you just leave the room? But to like deprive him of being able to have his moment with his dad like that, I think is not okay either.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, hopefully he can like maybe in the next episode, or hopefully he had time to look at it. But I feel like Maggie, which is totally understandable, but she was even kind of not paying attention to like what Emily was going through as like a newborn or with a newborn and like as a new mom.
Well, she says that she just like feels this guilt of like having these experiences that he doesn't get to have.
Yeah. Which I feel like is totally normal. And it was interesting that we didn't see a heart song from her until the end.
Mm-hmm.
I found that interesting.
Which I think she was also so blocked off. Like we saw that she was like, whether it was on the phone trying to find this password, looking through old stuff, like all these things, I think she was distracting herself from, going through whatever she needed to go through.
Yeah, I think her and Zoey were blocked, and I feel like once Zoey kind of went to the office, started talking about things more, I feel like it kind of gave her the ability to be open about her heart songs again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on with the office, and I know we keep going back to that. But Joan is leaving, and
Zoey to Singapore?
Yeah, Zoey has this opportunity to like take over the 4th floor. Do you feel like this is too soon? Do you feel like this is too much for her to take on right now?
I don't know if it's too soon for her actually, but I think on the first day that she leaves the house, offering her this huge promotion may have been an overstep because she is just getting back to normalcy, and maybe let's give it a week before being like, hey. But I also understand that she's on a time crunch. But
yeah, I feel like it was very soon. Like it was like the first time she was back, and Joan, I keep calling her Lauren. That's not right.
I know. I want to call her Lorelai all the time.
I know. Hey, Lorelai. So. Oh, okay. Stop. Don't. Should I keep this in?
I just like that you get the little jangle.
I know. Yeah, she has her bell. You want to say hi? Say hi. 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 So yeah, I think it was too soon to have her get this promotion offer, and I feel like how long has she been there?
At the company itself?
I feel like it hasn't been that long.
I feel like remember. I feel like it has to be like maybe 3 to 5 years, somewhere within that.
Because I feel like to be like an executive director, I feel like you're gonna need like a lot of experience.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it seems like a company that might be very have a big turnover rate.
That's true. A lot of tech companies do long hours, and I mean, you saw what the crazy deadlines they had last season.
Exactly. So I think there could be a high turnover rate. I think Joan really trusts Zoey, and I think Zoey's really good at her job, you know?
And, I like how she's passing it on to another strong female. I feel like that's a really great thing to
Yeah.
do.
I do love that Zoey is this very, you know, kind of messed up person in a way of she doesn't have her shit together and she is learning as she goes and we can all relate to that. And then but she also, through her meekness sits there and
Mhm.
tells Leaf, like, I'm still your boss, now.
Yeah, and like the fact that she still had the confidence to do that is really that's a good like moment
Yeah.
because sometimes when someone gets a promotion, like a friend of yours, and then they're like, oh man, they're my boss now. Like it gets weird. And I hope Zoey doesn't make it weird, but it might get odd in the next few episodes. And there might be some fires that happen.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I think, Leaf being not vindictive yet. I don't think Leaf has completely turned over a new leaf. We'll put that.
Oh, do you think Leaf is gonna go with Joan?
No. I,
No.
I don't see that relationship coming back into play anytime soon.
Yeah.
If it happens, it'll be much later in the season.
Okay. Well, we'll get to like
Yeah.
predictions. We've had this discussion. Team Max, Team Simon. We had this big musical number, which I found it funny that they were watching. Were they watching a football game? And then they were like, "Oh, you have to pick your team or something." And then that's like
Yeah, I
kind of
think
a
it was
subtle.
some sort of game.
Some
I honestly I wasn't paying attention to what like they were doing because in my head I just kept waiting for this like moment.
for the song, yeah. So I saw some of the little clips online first of like this moment happening, and I feel like this was the perfect song to sing. And
This just took me back to high school, honestly.
so why did you have two guys dance around singing this to
No,
you?
just the song. I just listened to the song. I was definitely not that girl that had multiple men chasing after me.
No, me either. I wasn't either. So,
But the
yeah. So,
song, I don't know if the song, I'm trying to think of when it was made, but I don't know if it had a resurgence when I was in high school or if it was made when I was in high school. But let's see. Are you going to be mine?
I think it was 2003. So that's
So maybe,
like,
so it was right before I went to high school then.
yeah. So like, think about it. Like it releases, 2003, and it's playing at dances in 2004 and five.
Yeah, because I was like in high school then. So yeah, so it sent me back to high school and
Oh
all
my
the school
goodness,
dances.
I liked it. So like, let's talk about our favorite songs of this episode. So we
Like
had
my
Rise.
chair is like breaking. Sorry.
Yeah. What? So we're a mess tonight. This is what happens. We're gonna keep this all
2021.
2020. We're gonna keep this all in because this makes us real people. We're not perfect. So we had Rise Up, we had Hello Dolly,
Are you
we
going to
had
be my
Are You
girl?
Gonna Be My Girl, we had Don't Cry Out Loud, and
Mm-hmm.
we had Carry
Carry
On.
on.
So what was your favorite of the night?
I think Don't Cry Out Loud just because one, I love that song.
Okay.
Um, it it made me think of another Broadway show,
Which show did it remind you of?
Boy from Oz, because
Oh, okay.
the show the show is about the man who wrote the song, so they have that in there. But yeah, but also I just love George, so I loved him having this moment, and I was really sad that they cut it off just as it was getting to the good parts of the
I
song.
know. I always like wonder about their thought process of like what verses and what choruses to take
Mm.
because you only have so much time and certain lyrics go with certain moments and especially the choreography. So I'm like I want to like pick everyone's brain on the writing and creative team and Mandy Moore's mind and just figure out like okay, why did they choose those sections of songs?
Yeah,
That's like me wanting like
but I almost feel like that was like, George in a nutshell. Like, he's like, I want to fit in, and now I'm singing my song, and I get cut off.
yeah, I feel like
Like,
it's
did you
like
watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I did a little bit, yeah. Not like the whole,
He's
not
like
all the
the,
seasons.
do you know George from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And how he never got to finish his song. It kind of made me think of
So
that.
it kind of has that feel, yeah. So
George's.
I feel like everyone's a little bit like George. I feel like we all like have our voice. We all want to not be,
Just
interrupted
when we
or
get to our
stifled
big
right
moment,
when we're getting to our big chorus and our big belt.
cut off.
We get cut off, and that's not fun.
Done.
But I like this was a good introduction to George, the song, and the conversation at the end with the big hug with Zoey. I feel like that was really powerful. It got me.
I know when you
Um,
said big hug at the beginning of the episode, that's all I thought it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
We all got a George hug.
We all got a George hug. So did that part of the episode make you cry, or was it the testimonials that made you cry?
Um, it was honestly when it was Carry On.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Carry
yeah,
On made me cry.
yeah. So "Carry On" is my favorite
It,
song
it was
of
it
this
was
episode.
literally when they sat down the table and there was the empty chair at the head.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. So that was the song that got me. Well, yeah, for emotion, the "Carry On" got me. For like nostalgia factor, "Hello Dolly." So I'm going to tell you that "Hello Dolly," I'll tell you a personal story, but "Hello Dolly" was the song my grandmother and I used to sing together. And when she got sick and I was like taking care of her and like visiting her, I would sing that to her, and that was the only song that like she would recognize and kind of calm down. She would kind of like be comforted and so
Sweet.
so when I saw that, just why does this show make me cry? I saw this come like on this episode, it got me to a whole like it took me back to like taking care of my grandmother.
Mm,
So so
that's
I
really
don't so
that's really sweet though that you guys had that you guys had that song that connected you.
we like named my car Dolly, and so we would sing it, and like it's a thing that connected us, and I feel like Zoe's playlist in general connects everyone to all to each
Mm-hmm.
other. I feel like this is what we needed to just like listen to some songs and feel like we're all kind of in this together because we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to, last season we had this special segment which we which focused on what our heart song would be, like our own
Mm-hmm.
little inner monologue. And excuse me. And so I wanted to talk about what ours is for this episode. And so there was a lot of healing and moving on from a great loss in this episode. It was a really big theme. And I feel like "Carry On" was the song that really encapsulated the whole episode and was that bookend for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you were brainstorming, I was writing notes on like what my song would be. But what would yours be if you had to sing a song about moving on or healing from a loss?
I chose Lean on Me
Oh, that's
because
a
I
good one.
think, yeah, it perfectly encapsulates, that feeling of when you're alone needing somebody and them just being like, I'm here. You can lean on me whenever you need me to. We'll get through this together kind of feeling.
Oh, that's a good one. I think that was one of my heart songs last season too, on one of the
I feel
episodes.
like it might have been. If it sounds familiar to the show.
So I'm changing mine. I had one, but I'm going to change it. So you're a musical theater fan, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to pick one from one of my favorite musicals. And I'm going to pick "You'll Never Walk Alone." And
That's a good one.
yeah, I'm going to pick that one because
That's a
that
good
one
one.
really encapsulates that feeling of being hand in hand with someone when they're going through this transition, this big moment, and like being there for people.
I think if I were to pick a musical theater song, now that I'm thinking about musical theater, because I don't think I was thinking about it before for some stupid reason, it would probably be Light from Next to Normal.
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like we could go back and forth for hours with all songs.
Yeah, we could. I'm trying to think what other ones. We could do this. We should have a show on this. We're gonna give Zoe's playlist season 3
Do these
options.
songs.
Do these songs.
This would be a great one for you.
Exactly. So what do you think is gonna happen in the next
Um,
episode or in
Obviously, we got the kiss at the end of the episode,
we
but
did.
then
I
part
totally
of
forgot
me
to mention
is terrified of that kiss because I personally love Max, and also he took over the role of Greg on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I was a total Greg girl, and so like Skylar Astin just has my heart, but I'm terrified of this kiss because I almost feel like it's a rebound from her father dying in a way. Like, you know how when you're upset from a breakup,
Yeah.
you rebound. So her
Mhm.
father died. I don't want him to be the rebound.
So I know, like I've always been Team Max, like all the way, right? I think I like slightly skewed Team Simon at one point
I
last
mean, there are
season.
definitely moments where, I
Yeah,
mean, this is like one of those shows where if she picks either one of these guys, I'm fine.
I'm totally cool with, yeah.
There
But
are like Crazy Girlfriend, I was not fine if she chose Josh, but now this one I'm fine.
yeah, like when Simon had that dance number in the kitchen last season,
Hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm Team Simon now. So,
But then when Max sang,
um,
I would walk 1,000 miles.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I'm back
Well,
on Team Max. See, it ebbs and flows.
yeah, so I'm terrified because like yeah, I don't know if she's really ready for a relationship and I feel like she's jumping the gun right now.
Yeah,
Um I'm excited for this Mo Max collaboration though with this restaurant.
yeah, right. Is it gonna be like a singing restaurant?
I don't think so. Maybe Mo will make it a singing restaurant, but I mean the idea is just that you can get like I don't know what this like weird thing is of like you can get from other restaurants. So like why not just have a restaurant where you can get all types of different food? But
I don't know. We're gonna see how this plays
we'll see
out.
how it plays out. He has some
We'll
sort of
see how it
idea.
plays
Him and
out.
Mo are coming together, but I kind of because Mo was kind of like always team Simon season one, so now I'm wondering if this is gonna like she kind of flip flopped a little bit, but more team Simon.
You think she's gonna
And
move over to Team Max now that like she's
I
collabing with
don't know.
him?
I mean, they're all BFFs now, so it's hard to tell. But and it's hard because Simon's single now because the only time that the only reason she wasn't fully team Simon was kind of because he was in a relationship and not available. And Max was right there. But this maybe I would like a little Mo and uh Max duet. I'm
Okay.
down
Well,
for that.
I really kind of want some songs about food because there's I mean, I don't know any off the top of my head right now,
Food,
but I'm gonna
glorious food.
research. Yeah, food glorious food. Yes. Um, there's vanilla ice cream you can sing about from She Loves Me.
Hmm.
Um, that's another
There
musical.
you could say I'm fat from Weird Al, which is
Yeah,
the
see, I'm telling you, there's so many musical songs about food. We can make it happen.
yeah. So I'm excited for this kind of little partnership. I don't really know where Simon lands. We didn't really get a lot of him this episode.
Yeah, what do
Um,
you think about that?
I don't know. I don't know if because obviously he's the one who has also lost a father, so he
Yeah,
understands more than anyone else does what she's going through, and it's kind of surprising to me that he's back. Maybe that's what he wanted when he was going through it. For it was for people to kind of like give him space. So maybe that's what he's doing. Um,
it seems like he is giving Zoe space and to make the decision that she needs to make. I feel like Max is the one that's like, here's a ring, and like he's the one that still is pushing, and which can
but
be kind of
they also had a friendship, before.
that's
So
true.
they just have that kind of back and forth. So I don't think Simon's out of the picture. I don't think that this Max and her thing is going to be like end game at this exact moment, at least.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to like the next episode is going to open and it's going to stop. Like she'll have a heart song or something where I don't think it's going to go further than a kiss or
Hmm.
like an intense makeout session. I don't know.
I don't know if we'll go further than that, but I feel like her giving him this little bit is going to cause him to be
Is
like, whoa,
yeah.
and it's going to be too much for her.
Because I think you're right. I don't think she's ready. I feel like she needs to like take the moment to heal and like she has this new job too, this new position. That's gonna like throw a wrench in things. But that's what makes this show great is like you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And what I liked is that about the structure of this episode is I wasn't sure when the songs were going to come. I feel like they were light on songs, which was okay because they put them in the right spots and they worked for the moment and the emotion that they were
I
trying to
was
go.
surprised that Carry On wasn't the end of the episode, that we still had more episode after it, because it felt like, that was a good end point. But I'm glad they did what they did, because then we're going to get in. The preview that we got was nothing, by the way.
The preview was nothing. It was just like a
What
little,
was that?
like, I think that we might, I think that was for a reason.
It was like, hey, by the way, they kiss more.
They kiss more. Exactly.
And you're like, cool. So what else?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like I said before, Leaf, I think there's going to be some more with Leaf later on. I think that with him having the more power that he does have right now, he's good. We already saw he gets like a little crazy with his ideas and stuff. And even though I'm totally on board with dogs in the office and I'm totally on board with standing desks, those are two things I'm 100% for. So I like his thoughts and plans.
I mean, that's how like Google does it. Why not?
Mm-hmm. And they basically, like, let's be honest, they're basing this off of Google. Like, they're supposed to be kind of like a Google-esque company.
Totally. It's like
they don't have a bar. They don't have a food bar anymore.
I know. Can we talk what the bread bar?
Or the bread bar. It was a million bars.
Yeah. So many things.
There's so many bars. But yeah, like that was, they had to do cutbacks apparently for some reason. I don't know why. We didn't really get why they were doing cutbacks. But
that's the one thing I am enjoying, is that there's not the crazy office snacks that like you literally, I'm sure you like know how that feels too. Like you're eating everything in sight because it's just right there.
Yes. It's much easier to eat things when you don't have to like go get it.
Yes, every donut.
As anyone in quarantine understands, when they went out and bought 5,000 things of food, and sat and ate for the first 3 months.
Can I tell you, I like always have to keep cookie dough in my freezer now.
Oh my God, I'm back at home with my parents right now, and they are cookie fanatics, and my dad has to have cookies always. Like, they have to be cookies in the house.
What kind of cookies? Like basic?
Well, right now we have a bunch of them because it was Christmas time, so we baked. But he I don't think he cares, as he just wants cookies in the house at all times for him to be able to grab.
I mean, I'm with your dad. I'm totally on board.
It's just not great for someone like me that has very little willpower.
Yeah, I hear ya. I'm like making pie. Like around the holidays, I was like making pies and making cookies and like eating chocolate chips like they were, mints. It's okay.
All the food. All the food. That's what holidays are for.
Anyway, but let's get back to Zoey's. I think that's it. I think we covered everything, right? I feel like we're going to have some adventures of food.
We're definitely going to have some adventures of food. I also want to have like an outing with the 3 best friends right now.
Okay.
Like, without Zoey there, I want to be a part of their hangout without her there to see how their dynamic is with each other.
Yeah, because like they're building their own dynamic and like Zoey's like trying to like not get in the way.
I don't know how she can really be a part of that friendship when at some point she's either going to have to choose one of these guys or neither of them. So I don't know how she fits into this like friendship puzzle. Not that she can't be a part of it at some point, but like either one of the guys is going to leave or she's not going to be able to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's always like awkward, like when you have like a mutual, like when you have a close friend that like you're friends with their, like they break up with their ex, and then you're like, oh, like you have. It's always hard to like make that triangle where you're like, are we all still friends still? Is this weird? So Zoey's gonna have to figure that out.
I mean, we're definitely in for a season.
We are in for a season, and
now that we have both guys know that she likes both of them.
Yeah, she has great guys to choose from. I think she's gonna...
I wish I had her problems. Let's just say.
Well, let's get started.
Wait, what was it? Champagne problems.
Champagne problems.
Mo called it.
Yeah, which I love. I feel like that's very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna learn a lot more about Mo because, like, Mo's in this long-term relationship or long-distance relationship. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And I think we're going to, we just got like little pieces of like where they left off. So I think it's going to get more drama, more musical numbers, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely excited. Excited for all the songs. I don't
Yeah.
know any. I have no idea where they're going with songs anymore. So
Oh,
I'm
I
excited to
don't
see
know.
what they
I
do
mean,
every episode.
this was like a mix of like, 2000 rock and then,
Mm,
70s classics and then musicals. So I have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm ready for it.
ready.
So where can the Zoey's playlist fans find you, Bree?
You guys can find me all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Bri_Phipps. That's BRI_PHIPPS.
Amazing. You're everywhere. And you can find me on all social platforms at Emily May Heller. Thank you for tuning in to the Zoey's Playlist recap show. We're excited. Follow us on YouTube and catch you next week.